All right, welcome everyone to Friday Night Lights, presented by Formula Worldwide Leagues. I am your host, Jim Cav, and again this week I have with me Dakota Domino. We will be your color commentary and general tomfoolery for tonight's round two in the streets of Las Vegas. We have close to a full grid. Apologize for the delay because we've got stragglers and other bullshit. So um, I may actually have to be quiet for a moment as I try to sort out who's missing and whatnot. So, but right now we have 17 on the grid. We have apparently one more, maybe two, who are potentially joining during quali, maybe three actually. So, okay, so it sounds like Evaz is joining during quali.
Alrighty, I got my track map. I am ready.
Okay, so apparently Plube is... Oh, first print just got desynced, so I'm going to go ahead and send him an invite right now.
Off to a lovely start, eh? Alrighty.
Okay, so invite sent. The Haas comes out, so I think does the Williams. And I too will get my map set up. So last week we had a pretty good race, right? Full grid in Portugal. We had a wet quali with, I believe, Kiwi set the pole. Kiwi took the win, even though Patrick Duffy crossed the finish line first. He had that 10-second penalty. But it was an entertaining race, right? We had quite a few battles, and I thought it was a good time. So
It was really nice to watch. Always nice to
so
watch people race around a track that you struggle around because it just makes it more entertaining.
yeah, for sure. We're following along with Foe at the back of the pack right now. In the Haas, he has been experiencing a lot of technical issues with his internet connection. He lives in Indonesia, so um, sorry, being distracted by the chat here. Um, but I mean, he has good pace. So if he can, if his connection stays stable and he can stay in the race today, I think he can make some good progress. Another name that we didn't have last week, Massive Noogies in the Williams. He is reserving for us today. He is from our sister league at Formula whatever um, on Thursday nights. He also was our previous co-host of the Friday Night Lights broadcast with Donut Puncher. So he may join us in the booth at some point in the future, but nice to see him back on the track. He's got some good form. Looks like he's dipping into the pits already. Maybe he got some damage. His
Perhaps they didn't like their setup.
Yeah, maybe his teammate We the North is out there on a flying lap. Oh, and smacks the wall. That will do no good. After setting a purple sector one.
Always the
So
worst.
that's
Always.
brutal. Let's switch over to the other Haas of TTV. Let's see. He is on a hot lap, and TTV has shown a ton of progress. I should just call him one man instead of TTV, because there's a lot of TTVs. I think it used to be a league of some sort, but
Or is it perhaps like Twitch TV? I heard that's what it could be sometimes.
oh, maybe, yeah, maybe. Um, but we've had a number of drivers come through with TTV. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, one man. Also one of the original six, if I'm not mistaken, and he's shown a lot of progress. So if he can keep clean and stay out of trouble, he could be a game-winning, like a race-winning threat. So,
Got to keep an eye out for that one.
yep. We the North just crossed the line with a 131.330. And one man goes up 131.248. So those
Oh,
are our
is
first two.
next.
Foe crosses the line with a 131.866. That's respectable. Let's move over to
Good
Gifted.
start.
Yeah, good start for him. Gifted. Ooh, a little bit of slide out there. Main keeps it through that chicane, that tricky chicane section before the final stretch. And as he crosses the line in the Mercedes, he will go P1, 131.134.
Very nice.
Patrick Duffy in the Aston Martin. He's barreling down the Las Vegas Strip into that tricky chicane, followed by one of the V-carbs. So let's see if he can knock everyone down a position. He certainly has the pace. I could see it happening. And there he goes,
And it's called.
130.8.
I'm going to be honest, at least from a driving perspective, this track does give off a little bit of IndyCar vibes at the way that the corners are set up. It's a very
It's interesting.
low, high speed.
I never really picked up on that, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. I think street circuits really have a bit of that vibe in general, especially when they're more like North American street circuits. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, especially around like the chicane after the Vegas Strip. That one really gives me that sort of vibe, honestly.
oh, you're getting really choppy audio. Um,
Oh dear.
yeah. Okay, I gotta invite one of these guys. So hold on a second here. I should do it this way.
Righty, how is it now?
Sounds good now.
Righty. Can't go wrong with unplugging and replugging things in.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Okay, so we've had 6 drivers set times. We've got 3 more drivers on the way. So by the end of this qualifying, um, we'll have a full grid. Although First Friend is having some technical issues of his own. We'll see if I can get him back in here at some point.
Duffy's holding pole so far. Zeech's going down the straight. I have a couple of cars about to cross the line, actually. One of the Red Bulls.
Yeah. I'm following the Red Bull of 40-pound lobster, who sets a P8 time of 134.006. That's way off the mark. I I like I like lobster, but I think um, he's outpaced here. You know
Yeah. It is a sketchy track, though,
why
to be
is he
honest with you.
Baz in the RB and not in the Mercedes? Oh, Spicy Nookies took the Mercedes. Uh-oh. Okay, that's what happened.
Some miscommunication or confusion, perhaps?
Yeah, perhaps so.
That's
Well, we'll have to get
unfortunate.
that sorted out at some point. Let's switch views. We're going to look at Zeke in the Aston Martin. Now, if these two, Patrick Duffy and Zeke, are consistent in showing up, they could be a powerhouse team and could take this easily. Zeke's got some good pace, and Duffy's got excellent pace, as we saw last week. Zeke just doesn't show up enough, and Duffy sometimes gets caught up in shit and loses throws away a win, for example. So
Hmm. Looking like this Aston Zeech actually may have avoided the lap.
yeah, I was gonna say, is it me? Yeah, he definitely aborted the lap. I was gonna say, is it just because the straight is so long and wide that it looks like he's going slow? But no, he's definitely aborted the lap here. So let's go down and take a look at Kiwi in the Alpine. Last week, I'm pretty sure he picked up pole position
And the win, actually.
and the win. Yeah, so we'll follow along with him. Now, I would like to make a comparison to our Division 2 times that we had on Wednesday. Oh, and Kiwi Pit sets a P2. One of
Ooh,
3
wonderful start.
cars in the 130s.
Hmm.
So if I'm looking at the qualification classification from WTF on Wednesday, I've got Meow Slayer,
Mm-hmm.
who set pole 137.88.
Silverstone, right?
No, that was in Vegas as well last week.
Oh, wait.
This week, yeah,
Yes, Div 2. I remember
yeah.
now. Yep.
So I mean, right now that's still faster than what we've got set, but we're only halfway through quali. The track will evolve. I'm certain that these times will fall. I would be shocked if we don't see any 129s tonight.
Yeah, the first few laps usually tend to be very slow, especially as they're like getting used to the track and the conditions.
Yeah,
So that first lap is usually always going to be the one for just seeing where the limits are.
yeah,
So we're
absolutely.
going to likely see some actual pace coming up very soon.
So right now we're following along with Plube and the Ferrari. He was absent last week, had some technical difficulties. Hopefully he can keep it together and run through this. And let's see as he comes down the final straight around that bend and puts himself into P11, 132.451. I think he's got more pace there. But as you said, first lap in, um, and he's been kind of frazzled getting into this. So
Hmm.
I'm going to follow on with Spicy Noogies, who's erroneously in the McLaren. I don't know why he did that. I'm very confused as to why that happened. But he's coming down the back straight on the Las Vegas Strip, and we'll see if he's going to be able to set a respectable time here.
What are we going to get?
Good enough for P6,
P6.
131.2. So we still only have 3 cars in the 130s. We have not
Hmm.
seen a lap from Curtis Chaos. He is on an outlap right now. Excuse me. And Zeke, actually, we haven't seen a lap from Zeke. Um, he is back out there on a hot lap.
All right, let's see what we can get from this one. Definitely going to pole, provisional.
Yep, moved
Or
up
setting a
one.
faster lap, I should say.
Yeah, opens up that gap between him and Kiwi.
Not that it'll matter once they line up on the grid if they stay there. We reset right to where it is. It's always important to gain as much ground as you can off the start without, trying to win the race on the first lap, especially when you start on pole.
Yeah.
Starting in the lead is honestly quite hard, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, you're under a tremendous amount of pressure, and you've got 19 other cars behind you going into turn one. So a lot of really bad things can happen.
Yeah, there's a
So,
lot of trust with that. Praying nobody just
the
tries to
road
fly down the inside.
exactly the road ahead may be clear with clean air and all that stuff, but that's only good once you've kind of put a tiny bit of distance between yourself and the other 19 in the field. So,
Yep,
all right, into the
lost that
chicane
corner.
off of the Las Vegas Boulevard, down the final stretch, and let's see what he can pull off here. Oh, a P9, 131.279. Not going to lie, I
Mm.
expected more there. But there's still
Oh,
just
well.
under 5 minutes to go. So,
Very quick quali. I'm curious to see what sort of overtaking we're going to see potentially if it'll be outside of DRS. Because there's a few opportunities that you could probably take, but they tend to be more on the risky side. So I'm curious to see
yeah,
how that plays out.
absolutely. Absolutely. We're following along with Curtis now, seeing if he can set a lap with 4:25 left in the session. Massive Noogie's retired in pits without setting a lap. That is his MO when he's reserving. He just basically will start at the back and see what he can do.
Mm. Is there a reason why, or just because?
I think it's a case of he feels like he doesn't want to impede anybody because he's just a reserve, and
Uh,
he also likes the challenge of trying to see how far up he can get. And he usually does really well and usually gets driver of the day. So I think that's really the key thing there. I think he just desperately wants driver of the day all the time. He needs that
Hmm.
validation.
Wants to lead the crowd in that regard. Who do we have on a lap? Gifted. Apparently, though, the rear lights are flashing, so I don't think so. Curtis. You mentioned Curtis previously, correct?
Yeah, he set a P16, 132.58. I know he's not going to be happy with that. He's going to
Hmm.
wish that he could have got a better lap than that one. Lobster's out on a out lap. Um, Zeke is on a hot lap, but he's invalidated it, so he's coming to pit. Oh, he's got a puncture. He's got
Oh,
a puncture, and he's making his way back into the pits.
how did that happen?
Well, see, we have simulation damage on,
Ah,
and if you ride the walls too
run over
much,
debris? Oh.
yeah, and if you run over debris, but absolutely. Um, so the damage rate is still reduced, so you can actually, you could still have taps that aren't just going to completely disintegrate your front wing.
Hmm.
But I discovered this with this cycle of the game that you don't get flat tires unless you're on simulation damage.
Hmm.
So you could run a set of reds for 90 laps, and I don't believe you would actually get a flat unless you have simulation damage.
Oh. Might have to speak with Div 3 for some interesting ideas as if we need any more challenges around there.
Well, we do. We may actually have simulation damage on in BBR now.
Hmm.
I believe I asked Grumpy if we could do that, and he said yes. So,
Interesting. We'll see how
uh,
that goes.
yeah, I've been running it on the Monday nights for like since from the trial season we ran in December, and I was running it on some of last year's Div 2 WTF races, and I think maybe even some of the NEA races on Div 2 Saturdays. So again, I just like the realism. You can have floor damage, you can have tire punctures, but the rate of damage is reduced. So, like I said before, it's not like you have a little love tap and your front wing just completely implodes. Now, if
Yeah.
you have simulation damage rate on, then oh yeah, a tiniest like you just barely clip the corner and that's it. Your wheel's going to be flying off. So
Yeah. So
so
you're
with
really gonna have to show caution in that regard.
yeah, for sure. So 30 seconds left in the session. We've got Gifted retired sitting in P3, Zeke retired sitting in P9, and we've got quite a few people out there on hot laps trying to improve their times. Following along with
Zunquile gets good.
Yeah, I'm following along with Paxton here. He's currently sitting P12 in the McLaren, reserving for them today, and he cannot improve his time. Oh, wait a second. I think I know what he's done. Well, it looks like he doesn't have enough fuel to make it to the end, but he has full ERS, so maybe this is his true fast lap. He did make it just in time to cross the line. Let's see if we can go to the Red Bull, I think it is. Down the final stretch of 40-pound lobster, and he's
Into the
pitting,
pit.
so that's nothing. He's not going to go anywhere from 17th. We the
Very
North.
interesting.
We the North just crossed the finish line and finished P4, 139.44. That's impressive. Sweat Randall improves to P12, 131.389. No, 380. 10 or 100ths of a second faster than Paxton.
You know, it seems like this is just a really challenging track. I've noticed consistently that a lot of the faster drivers from last weekend are completely on the opposite foot now.
Yeah. Sketchy Bull. Now, here's somebody I didn't talk about. Sketchy Bull. Sketchy Bull is our four-time Red Bull champion. He retired at the end of season 11 after winning his fourth championship with Red Bull, and we're in round 2, and he's back already. He asked if he could reserve.
Yes.
I said, why not? Come on in. So I threw him in the Kick Sauber, and he's put up a P3 137.93 for second row next to Kiwi. So we ended up having 7 drivers in the 130s, and not a single one of them broke the 129 mark. So I'm really surprised by that.
Wonder what that's going to mean for the race as well.
Yes, I mean it's a total reset in the race, like you said, right? And it's also a street circuit, and yeah, it's a bit of a wide one at certain points. There's still bound to be some damage and chaos. So I think we're in
Absolutely.
for a real treat tonight. Uh,
Will it be as much of one as last time? Let's find out.
all right. So we're just going to review the results here.
Quite curious to see what Kiwi's got planned this time. Strategy was also quite interesting last time around as well, so I'm wondering what they're going to do for that one around here.
Yeah, definitely. I actually reserved in Wednesday nights. Oh, and it's raining in Las Vegas. I cannot
I
believe
mean,
this.
they do say anything can happen in Vegas, so here we are.
That's incredible. That is
This changes everything.
that is incredible. This is going to be absolute chaos.
Carnage, destruction, end of worlds.
We may have a lot of safety cars.
We're gonna have something, all
imagine
right.
we
The safety car
imagine
is
we
gonna be
have
part of it.
a red flag actually. Could we actually have our first red flag?
I don't
Because
think
I
I've
don't.
ever seen a red flag in a league.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen one either. I do have red flags set to reduced, so it's probably
So
unlikely. But
yeah, who knows? Anything, as we see, it's raining here. Anything can happen in Vegas.
yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I'm going to take a
Welcome to the
moment
U.S. of
here
A.
to see if I can fix the results here real quick. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. We got Defi in first, Corey in second, Sketchy in third, with Kiwi in fourth, Gifted, We the North, One Man, Spicy, Heat Gang, Zeke, and then Foe, Sweat Randall, Paxton, and KDM. KDM is our 3-time Div 2 champion in WTF. And he can't commit to Fridays full time, so he's just reserving for Friday nights from time to time, and he's no longer racing in WTF. So I think he's got some pretty good pace. P14 for his very first attempt at FNL Div 1. I think that's pretty respectable.
Mm.
So Paxton and KDM. Then we've got Evaz and Plube, and then Curtis Carrios. That's who's missing. Oh, and that's not
Considering
right.
seeing if potentially one of these nights I just try a race around here and see where I am, where I stack up. I'm curious. I've ever since Silverstone, because I'm gonna be honest, I've always struggled when it comes to commentating. Because once I see people on track, it's like, dang, I gotta be out there. I gotta do this.
Yeah,
Something wakes up like an engine or something, like, yo, I gotta be on track, man. I gotta see what's going on. I gotta be with the action.
I feel
So,
that. I
and
feel
again,
that.
I'm falling to be a victim to it yet again. And I'm gonna have the floor wiped with me, but like, hey, it's fun, especially with the action on track. Oh, yeah, yes, sir. I want in. Glad to be a part of it.
Excellent.
Whether it's spectating, driving, just great to be a part of it.
All right. Well, I know that Gifted is giving everybody time to get their setups and strategies and all that. So,
They're gonna need it. They are gonna need it. This was very sudden. While we're here, what are your predictions?
I mean, at this point, I have no idea.
Oh, I forgot no
Kiwi.
formation lap.
Yeah, we stopped the formation lap because of the bugs and all that stuff. Uh,
Yep.
I'm gonna say Kiwi, but we're green lights to go, and we do know that.
Essence.
Oh, Defy is like, is he glitching out? I don't know what's going. And he's retired from the session.
Mechanical failure off the start.
And guess who's leading
Wow.
this race? The return champion,
Sketchy bull.
Sketchy Full, before turn 3 is already leading this race. Now Curtis Chaos has retired.
Oh dear. What has happened here?
Now
We need to know.
I don't see a lot of stuff going on with the actual active cars here. Everybody seems to be making their way relatively well. Sorry, I'm just thrown by. I don't know what happened with.
Yeah, that was very weird. And I saw the whole thing. Like, they just slowed down and
He's
that was
saying
it.
his game crapped out on him. Rather
Uh,
unfortunate.
yeah,
So did
mechanical failure.
so did Ploobs. So his is just an AI, and so did First Prince. His is just an AI. So we've actually lost 4 drivers already. Uh,
That's a bloody shame. What is this, the
yeah.
70s?
Yeah, I don't know. There's been a lot of connection issues lately, and it's just really, really challenging. So,
Very
um,
unfortunate.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. Let's get back into this. We got Sketchy Bull leading this race with one man in second, Corey Lanzillo in third in the Alpine, and then Gifted and Zeke in fourth and fifth. So Kiwi has dropped all the way to 10th place.
Wow.
And Sketchy's already set another fastest lap on lap 2. I mean, well, I guess that's not surprising. It's lap 2.
That is one sketchy bull indeed.
Yes. Now Corey is battling with Gifted. Gifted's trying to go around the outside on turn 2 and makes it stick. And now Gifted is up into third place. Now, I do like seeing this. The gap between each car from first to 18th is less than a second, with the exception of one man and Gifted, who are a little over a second behind each other.
Yeah. And I think I'm seeing TTV as well starting to lose a bit of distance. One man losing distance to Sketchy, which, as I'm
Yeah.
hearing, is not a surprise.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Just sliding through these corners. My goodness gracious. Ooh, close to the walls. That's how you want to take street circuits. Having the confidence to get close to those walls, making as little space as possible to get every inch you can get.
Yeah. But you got to be careful, right? Can't be rubbing
Absolutely.
those wet tires against those walls. You're going to run the risk of having a puncture. But we've got a great battle down here in fourth and fifth, as I'm watching with Zeke in the Aston Martin, Corey Lanzillo in the Alpine down the Las Vegas Strip. Zeke makes it stick. Gifted is unable to take over one man. And now we have... What do we have here?
Caution.
Well, Ploob left the session, so I'm wondering if that was part of that. Yeah,
You know,
that was definitely part of it.
one of the things I've also noticed around, especially earlier on when I started racing, I was one of the only people who was really confident around street circuits, so it really helped me gain an advantage around there. So it could potentially be a play as well around here, especially since it's raining. So the confidence for street circuits was already generally low, as I'm sure you know with most people.
Yeah,
At least I'd assume. So when you add in some rain and then make it Las Vegas, and I'd imagine this is a very interesting circumstance. Already 2 seconds sketchy. Wow.
yeah, I know. The guy's a beast.
What was the reason for retirement? My goodness. And it's only lap 3.
Yeah, it's only lap 3.
It's no competition, and it's not even a matter of tire strategy because it's all wets. So yeah, there's no competition for this one. So anything can happen in 25 laps. Let's try not commentator's curse this night, though.
I mean, the rain looks pretty heavy. It doesn't look like it's going to lighten up at all.
Yeah.
TTV
But hey,
just set a purple sector too, although he has dropped to second or third place, and Gifted is now holding P2, 2 seconds behind Sketchy. KDM is making his way up to P8 now. So
I was
as I
just
was
getting ready
mentioning,
to say.
yeah,
Go ahead, though.
our WTF champion is making a mark here in FNL.
Ooh, big slide from Lee the North. Losing some positions because of it, as a matter of fact.
Ooh, Gifted sets the fastest lap now.
Lovely.
And almost gets rear-ended by one man.
Ooh, late lunge by the V-carb going down the inside. Heat Gang. Wow.
Yeah, Heat Gang's a beast.
Those are those risky overtakes I was talking about.
Yeah.
Sounded like there's a bit of contact between Randall. I could be wrong, though. Heard a little bump. And the V-carb here again is a Skies. Staying side by side, leaving the room but losing the position. This actually contradicts what I was talking about earlier about the DRS. It seems that won't be a matter, so
Yeah.
this is going to be very interesting.
Not unless we have a stoppage of rain.
It'd be really nice if we could see details like that.
Yeah, as spectators, it would be fantastic. I fully agree. I could go back to one of the streams and then rewind, but I'd rather watch the live action here. The rain is just pouring down tonight.
You know, I don't think that'll be too unrealistic, because it does rain every now and again. Actually, no, I'm stupid. It would, because this is different from Jeddah, which is on the coast. This is literally in the desert. So this is very interesting to see.
I mean, it does rain in Las Vegas, absolutely. And in the fall and winter, you definitely see rain, some precipitation in Vegas. Now, would it rain pouring like this? Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, that's what I'm...
Right?
Yeah.
If we're looking at when it's like when it actually happens in November, yeah, I don't know. It's not beyond the realm of possibility. So
It has rained in the Sahara before. Flooded, snowed. Yep. Seems everybody's in a groove now. That flow state is usually what you want around this point. 20 laps to go. Moving up and down the field to see if we can find some action.
yeah, everything's starting to spread out a little bit. So I'm just going to start following along with KDM, who's 8 tenths behind Spicy Noogies, who is 4 tenths behind Corey Lanzillo, and is being chased down by Heat Gang. I'm telling you, Heat Gang is he's on a mission. He's on a mission to get up there. I mean, he started in 9th, and I think he fell back at the beginning of the race and has now made his way up here. KDM has made up the most positions tonight, 7 places up so far. Zeke up 6 places into P4 now. So we've got some big gains here.
I've also noticed the gap with Sketchy has fallen off a tiny bit from 2 seconds now to 1.4.
Yes.
So Gifted is catching up very quickly, 1.3. And getting a fight on our hands in a couple of laps.
And Zeke
fastest
is also
lap.
Yeah, fastest lap from Gifted. Zeke's also closed the gap to one man in P3. So we might have a battle for first and a battle for third in a matter of a lap or two.
That has actually no, both the Aston and the Haas are sliding like these are cars from like the 40s or something, just drifting through the corners.
Yeah.
Very nice to see, though. I will say that. Very satisfying to drive when it works. Terrifying though, because you know these cars aren't supposed to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So our top four are kind of bunched together. Then there's a big gap, about 5 seconds, to the midfields. But the midfield comprises of everybody all the way down to P14. Only Massive, who is making his way through starting P20. Prince is out. He's just an AI, and Lobster is just trying to keep it. Whoa, Zeke drifting into that. Oh my, that was and now he's got. Oh, and he almost bins it. Oh wow.
Down the straight, it would be horrible. You never want to lose it in the straight.
No,
Wow.
you do not.
Great catch, though, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
In the rain.
Absolutely.
Down to 10% ERS, though. He's pushing it. Car ahead at 30. ERS generally seems relatively low. I haven't seen any higher than 50%. Except for one so far, which is 51. We're also getting a little bit of underfueling from a couple of the car. Nuggies, Paxton. I think that's all so far. Sketchy stealing fastest lap away. And the gap increasing a bit to 1.7, but now falling to 1.6 and back, so it is now stagnant.
Yeah, the ebbs and flows. You settle in. You get the tires primed, and then you just have to focus on not making mistakes and recovering from little mistakes as quickly as possible. Without having a tank slapper.
As they usually say in NASCAR, this is usually one of those points where you want to race the track and not the cars.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to jump back down to Spicy Noogies here in P6 because we've got a lot of cars bunched up together, and he's trying to get his way around Corey Lanzillo. And he's just buried into Corey's gearbox. Very brave around these corners.
You have to have some serious confidence to be that close behind somebody, but it usually can pay off.
Yeah.
The overtake active.
Now, yeah, exactly. He's got the overtake active. They're ripping down the Las Vegas Strip. Past the Paris Hotel. It's not Paris. It's just Paris. It's New York is the casino that's using the double names there.
Both used up all of their ERS through the straight there. Excellent defensive play, but how is it going to play out in the end, especially with the cars behind of KDM right there?
Yeah, KDM up to P7 in that McLaren, and he's not going to sit tight. He's just waiting for these two to make a mistake. Considering how close together they are, it's not on.
I smell a lunge.
Oh, yeah, there he's going on the inside.
Contact.
Ooh. Pushes the Alpine
pushing
a little wide.
Muscling his way through. And there's the mistake KDM was waiting for. Not quite keeping it, though.
No, I'm not sure what happened to KDM there. I think maybe he was just giving him room and ended up taking off a slower line, but I mean, essentially, this battle is for fifth out of like 6 cars.
It's just dawned to me that Kiwi and Spicy or not Spicy, Corey are actually on inters. I was not aware of this previously.
Oh, I did not pick up on that either.
You're on that ultimate compound, eh? And it seems KDM's going to try for another move on Corey soon. Likely going to try for a move down the straight would be the wise idea. Wonder what that conversation between Spicy and Corey is going to be later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of those race together in Formula whatever, so they already have like a on-track rivalry.
Your own super formula. Which I meant to ask earlier, is that actually what it's called, Formula whatever?
Yeah. Their league name is Formula whatever.
Hilarious, actually.
Yeah, totally.
Genius.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying it just because, like, I don't know, but I like that.
Yeah.
Losing a bit of time here. KDM should probably focus on harvesting some energy and staying as close as possible.
Yeah, he's running a little bit low. Corey's got a little bit more juice than he does. Um,
Spicy having more than all three of them.
I guess his biggest threat is going to be its Heat Gang behind him in the V car because Heat Gang's got 56% battery. So,
And harvesting.
yep,
Ooh, ooh,
everybody
really
coming.
close now.
Yeah.
And still saving battery. I'm loving this
Oh!
ERS strategy. A little slide
Oh!
there. Wow.
Wow.
Great catch.
That was an
Off the
excellent.
track.
Oh
Bit
no!
of
Oh,
contact.
another one! Oh, another one. Was there contact, or did the V carb just lose his rear there? Heat
The
Gang.
slide was not contact, but there was a bit of a tap, it looked like.
Yeah.
Very slight touch. Getting very handsy.
You know what? I'm gonna have to abandon this hot racing action because look where Gift is. 3/10 behind Sketchy Bull.
Wow. Now
And
we're going to see seeing a
and
fight
coming to
soon.
the
Here we go.
end of the Las Vegas Strip, this is a battle for the ages.
The ERS difference is there, though, with Sketchy having 60 while Gifted has much less. So
Yeah.
he's going to have to harvest that as well. It seems like ERS is generally just falling fast here, which I'm noticing in Austria as well later on this weekend.
Yeah, the ERS is easy to chew up on this track. Absolutely. It's not. I mean, in most tracks, it's not too hard to recover, but it definitely is. It's very easy to just chew up.
It's all about timing. 15 laps to go.
Gifted is
Gifted knows
still.
what he wants.
Yeah, he wants that win. He wants to
And what was
deny.
it? Every race so far was losing it out by getting a time penalty. Every race so far. Which that's not going to help cutting the track like that. Desperation is there. You can see it right up on his gearbox. Save up that ERS, but don't make a move just yet. Wait for the straight. Get as much power as you can. Because he is fully charged, pretty much. Sketchy. Get a bit of pressure going where possible. Great exit. Excellent. Rode the curb perfectly.
I mean, these two are just putting on a show.
Sketchy using hot lap. Very smart decision. No move here. Don't do it. There you go. Ooh, that could have went terribly. On the turn 17. Gifted with fastest lap. The competition is on for sure. Who's going to come out on top, though? That's what we need to know.
The last time these two raced against each other was at the season finale of season 11 back in, let me see here, October. Gifted got pole, but Sketchy won the race.
Oh, entering the pits for a new set of wets.
Yeah, there is going to need to be a pit stop. I did see some of the pit strategy came up, and it's definitely going to be required to have a one stopper at the bare minimum. In fact, if I'm looking at my telemetry, everybody's well, actually, I mean their tires are not that bad. Heat Gang's running 32%. Kiwi is running 19% on his inters. Zeke's got 34%. Spicy's got 30%. So, I mean, you could probably stretch these out a couple more laps.
Gifted made a mistake and lost a ton of time to Sketchy.
Yeah, Yeah, broke behind or fell behind that DRS window, even though we're not using it in the rain. And he was sliding coming out of that turn on the
Yep.
the straight to the approach to the start finish line. Do we have? Oh no, we don't. I thought I saw a lapped car up ahead.
KDM is really close to Corey. I'm curious if there's going to be a lunge here. Zeke is making a pit stop.
Yes.
Oh, KDM's not going to make the move. He's going to back out. Oh, but Corey runs wide. KDM takes the inside line, which becomes the outside. A slight touch. Will there be a switchback? No.
So
And Corey keeps the position.
we've got Zeke, Heat Gang, and We the North pitting on lap 12. We're following along with KDM here as he comes round turn 3, chasing down the Alpine of Corey. The fight for 5th place. And he's in an Alpine sandwich because Kiwi is right behind him. So he's got
wow, he is.
He's got a lot to contend with. Yeah, that's the other thing is that he's on inters. Now, I actually should pay attention. The 3 who pit, did they go on inters as well, or are they staying on wets? They stayed on wets.
Ready.
So they do not believe inters are the right call. It's hard to
Corey
say.
and KDM are on the same ERS, but Kiwi has pretty much a full battery, or at least did before the straight. Gets right up behind KDM.
Side by
running
side.
Down to 14. Who's gonna make the move?
Oh,
KDM makes the lunge of contact with Alpines, and they are off the track into the wall. What happened there?
So KDM looked like he had it. It looked like he had it, and then the Alpine of, I believe, Corey. Was Corey? Yeah, Corey was in front. KDM's now pitting. I don't think he's got damage, but he figures, let's just get out of this mess and.
No, yeah, there's damage.
Oh,
changing front wings.
Yeah, he is changing the front wing.
It looked like Kiwi had gone into the back of...
Yes, that was it. Kiwi had gone into the back of Corey, and it looked like KDM was going to be able to make the pass, but I think they got pushed in. Like, his line was compromised, and Corey had nowhere to go because he got nudged from behind. So, I mean, it was a whole ordeal, unfortunately.
Very unfortunate. High energy, but very painful to see.
Yeah. So now he's down in P15. He'll get P14 because First Prince is actually not racing. So
might want to switch over to Gifted as well.
Yeah, I'm just making that switch because they're coming down the Las Vegas Strip, and there is 300 of a second that separate them, but he still stays behind Sketchy.
Mostly equal in ERS now, so this is also going to change how this plays out. Are they moving for the pits? They are.
They're going to both pit. And look at this. One man is going to pit as well. Yeah. And Evaz has now moved up effectively into the lead. Well, maybe not quite. Maybe he's not close enough that he can get there. But he's moved up 11 positions. And once this is done, he'll be in P3.
Still close to each other with about the same ERS level. Who can save better and who will be the one to fall behind? Gap increased a tad bit, but they are still together. Now decreasing. 0.2. Three. And back down to 2. Making their way through turn 6 into turn 7 here. I love this corner, but it's very sketchy when you're behind another driver. So many people take the corner so differently, so it's very easy to mess up.
Yeah, and it's sketchy when nobody's in front of you. It's such a challenging sequence of corners around the sphere there.
Because on one hand, the actual racing line tends to take you down the inside. However, at least how I drive it, you want to hug the outside wall to get a better entry. Ooh, lock up, lock up. Ooh, almost contact.
So close to each other.
You can see the desperation. He's going to have to play very cautiously because at the end of the day, Sketchy has more ERS to work with.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, this is where the battle is. This is where the
It
action
is.
is. It's hard to move away from here because there are other battles behind us and stuff going on. But this is, and I like that this field is really compact. Like it's not that spread out. That's been my goal is to manage to get divisions together where drivers are actually close together and we got a lot of racing action.
Yes. Or at the very least, when they are together, you can see some great moves and not some contact with the wall there.
Who was
Gifted
that?
lost a ton of time, a
Ooh.
big slide.
Yeah. Oh, and
Kiwi
Kiwi.
taking fast lap.
Yeah. Currently
Something's
sitting
going on
in
with pace there.
P9.
Zeke overtaking one man. Gifted is not giving up. He will lose position and then gain it back. This man wants that win.
Yes, he
He's going
does.
to do whatever it takes to get it. 10 laps to go. How different would the strategy have been if one of them had pit for inters? Oh, I think one of the Red Bulls have retired in the pit.
I believe so. Well, it hasn't marked retired yet. Maybe he just lost it going to the pits.
Or is closing in on Paxson. And Gifted is once again right behind Sketchy. Saving the ERS, holding the inside line.
He's got the overtake on now.
Peeks to the inside, moves to the outside, sets the ERS to medium, loses position. Oh, pressed against the wall. Shot blocked by Sketchy. Corey overtaking Paxton in the back, taking P4. Redemption for the previous actions going into the wall there. Turn
I mean, Gifted is not letting go of this.
Holding his foot in, making a move likely through here, having the outside line.
And into turn one, can he make it stick?
Pressure on the inside. Ooh, still side by side through turn two, and he gets through. Oh, but Sketchy is coming back with another move ready in the mix. ERS open, moves to the outside. Getting the better line, breaking about the same place, moving down the inside, shot blocked by Gifted.
I mean, this is amazing stuff.
The desperation really changes a man off the track twice. Ooh, desperation is a very powerful drug. It'll either help you get some great results or it'll ruin your life. And we are seeing it's paying off Gifted now that he's got it under control.
All right, so as Gifted takes over the lead and opens up a little bit of a gap to Sketchy. Yeah, it looks like Sketchy cut that corner pretty significantly there. We do want to note P3 through to P5, Evaz, Corey, and Paxton, they have not pit. So they will, I mean, could you take these to the end for real? I don't know.
Said it last race, and I'll say it every race. Perhaps they know something we don't.
I mean, Evaz's tires are at 45%. Paxton's are at 43%. Corey is on inters, and they're only 28%.
Interesting.
So Corey, I wonder if Corey is going to try to make this run to the end.
One man is falling down the order.
Yeah, down to P8 now.
Gifted just needs to hold it together.
And Kiwi setting another fastest lap.
Something's going on with Zeke and Spicy. It's looking like it looks like a move was made, and behind that, again, one man falls behind Kiwi, coming back for another move.
Yeah,
down the straight, exiting turn 4, losing the position.
4-car battle.
Kiwi has the inters for this one. I think the inters might be the better tire. Again, I've seen this before at Silverstone again, where there were a lot of drivers. I believe Kiwi was one of them, who was on inters, and they like were at like I think P16, and by the end of the race managed to get all the way up to P5.
Wild.
So, is it the tire model? Is it just a better tire? Is the rain letting up? Who knows?
Massive pit a second
That's,
time. And I believe he's on inters now. So the inters might be the way to go if you still have a stop in hand.
Paxton is trying to close in on Corey, though he has underfueled and his fuel light is on currently. I believe their pit strategy is open as well, as they're showing on the telemetry there. Will they pit, though, is the question. As they were almost launched into the wall, actually going into turn 12. These curbs are very dangerous, honestly.
Yes, they are.
Ooh, does he deke a pit? He does not, no. Considered it, though.
Oh, I thought I saw something in the back there. Just
Paxton is closing in on Corey. Inters are the tire for sure.
And Zeke suddenly drops 2 positions and is now under pressure from one man, almost loses it on the inside of turn 2, keeps wiggling. He is having a world of problems. Corey's moved up into P3. Or was he
Honestly,
always there?
He went past. No,
yeah,
he just
was.
got P3.
Yeah.
He went past as if he had DRS. A little slide from there. Ooh.
I mean, there is quite a bit of action going on here. We've moved away from P1 and 2. I've been following along with 6, 7, 8. And meanwhile, Corey's overtaken Evaz. Paxton is in 5th place, closing in on Evaz. And the difference there being, well, Paxton's actually on wets. Very old wets. But he definitely seems to have more pace than Evaz does.
Because I did notice he was... Oh, wait. Sketchy is making a leap of faith. Shot down the inside. Ooh, nearly muscles the Mercedes out of the way. He manages to keep the position gifted. Wow.
That was excellent
Lovely
stuff
sight.
there. Meanwhile, Paxton just passes Evaz to take P4. Evaz is falling down the order and now under pressure from the Alpine of Kiwi.
There's a lot of position changes going on all of a sudden. People are
Evaz needs to
here.
pit and get some fresh tires, and it should be inters, right? Like, I mean,
honestly,
inters are showing to be like doable here and potentially with an advantage, and
absolutely.
I believe he has the oldest set of tires, or the most worn, based on my telemetry here. So, I mean, he's got.
And the issue with that is because he's been onto those for so long. So at this point, it's probably a little too late to pit and still gain anything out of it. So he's honestly kind of messed things up, I'd assume.
I know, but
there's
why?
about to be 5 laps to go. So.
Why delay it any further? Just get it done. Hope for a safety. I mean, maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he's praying for a safety car, and then he can do a last-minute pit. And I mean, that's possible.
Yes.
Although he may be the one who causes the safety car if he keeps sliding around that way. So.
They were jumping over the curb, sparks flying despite it raining.
Yeah. Kiwi's now up to P6.
This is what we call hard charging.
Kiwi's now.
This is what I was talking about before, on the inters and just flying through position. How? Yeah. Because it's just the way to go. Sketchy is coming back again, looking for a potential overtaking opportunity. Great exit through 14, 15, and 16. Lovely set of corners when got done right.
Ooh, Kiwi looks like he
has an ERS advantage.
Kiwi looked like he had the move on Evaz and then backed off as they approached the McLaren of Paxton. And Evaz still not pitting. Is he actually going to try to take these to the end? I mean, that's a bold strategy if that's what he's trying to do here. But he's been overtaken by Kiwi. He's now down to P6. Kiwi up to P5. And I have a feeling he's going to take this McLaren very quickly. Here, turn 2, he's now into P4. The Alpines, hey, this kind of seems like Brazil in real life. The Alpines are sitting 3-4.
You know what? You're right. If the gap wasn't 14 seconds, they probably could have tried to fight as well, considering they're on inters that seem to be much better than the wets.
Yeah.
So, again, which is why I'm so interested, because you know I love me some alternate history. What if Gifted or Sketchy pit? How would that change things? Obviously, one would be faster than the other, but if they both had pit, would the whole field as well pit, seeing that this is clearly the way to go, or because you see that like a lot of them are still on wets, so usually what
Yeah,
the leader does, everybody else follows.
I also wonder if it's a confidence thing, right? It's really wet. Oh, there we have our first track
Penalty.
limits penalty of the night, and a
Somebody
red,
stop
yellow
on
in
track.
sector 2.
What has happened there? Oh, into the wall.
Who was that?
Half
Oh,
of the front wing. That
virtual
is the gang.
safety car.
Wow. This is likely going to give some breathing room for both Sketchy and Gifted now that they can charge their ERS.
Yes.
However, they got to be careful because I'm sure you know, run over that delta too long and it's going to go poorly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The
Hekang's
drive-through
got
at this
a
stage is terrible.
Hekang's got a busted wing. I expect he'll pit here to get something new, but that's is over at this point. Because in Division 1, only the top 10 score points. Evaz is dropped to 10th place.
On the
And
inside.
the virtual safety car is done. It's done, and we're back to racing. And Sketchy's 2/10 behind Gifted as they go around the sphere and are getting ready to go to that very, very long Las Vegas strip.
Sketchy having way more ERS saved up. He's got to get the position done through here. I doubt that he will not make the move. Or at least try. Ooh, jumping over the curb again. Great exit.
If you can hit that curb properly, it actually is very...
Yeah.
It is a faster exit. It gives you a faster exit, even though it
Yeah,
unsettles
he's
the
gonna
car.
have this one. Yep. No competition.
Follow along on the
But
back
I'm sure
of
Gifted
Sketchy.
is not going to be pleased with that. He's
No.
going to definitely try to come back with that one. Kiwi overtaking Corey.
We'll have 3 laps to go when these guys cross the start-finish line. Zeke up to 7th place. Paxton falling all the way to 8th. Wonder what happened
Making
there.
a shot down the inside slide. Ooh, they managed to respect each other's space. More sliding, side by side. Ooh, big slide from Sketchy.
Yeah. I thought he might
Big
have actually hit the
slide.
wall there for a second, but it was a big slide, and it gave Gifted the position back.
Patience is key. With a little bit of finesse, and anything can work out. Wow. He's not done yet. Because Sketchy still has the ERS advantage, so a lot of strategy is going to be needed for the ERS if Gifted wants to win this. And stay in between the lines. That is the key as well.
Yeah, and they also have something else that they need to consider. A lapped car. Oh, did Lobster just clip the wall there?
Ouch.
But Lobster in 17th place. He's going to be lapped. He may end up being... Well, you know what, though? We have ghosting on for street circuits, and when you're a lapped car, you just ghost, so it's not really used for these two.
Sketchy's getting a great run. Gifted is weaving down the street. Taking the outside line. Great braking. Would it be getting over the curbs?
Oh!
And he's done it again!
Oh, no.
No! I was rooting for him.
3 laps to go. 3 laps to go. And the only way out of this is if he builds a 3-second lead, which is going to be a huge, huge challenge. But as you have said before,
No.
anything can happen.
Wow.
We the North is now moved into 8th place. He's also got a 3-second penalty. Evaz
That
is
actually has to hurt.
dropped out of points. He's now in 11th. Oh, and we got a local yellow at turn 1. Corey and one man fighting it out.
One man's
One
actually
man.
coming back.
Yeah, one man's come back and taken over. Maybe those inters are finally run out of their juice. Yeah, Corey's
Mm.
inters are at 40%. I think that's going to be a challenge for him to hold on to that. Heat Gang just set the fastest lap on the inters. Now he literally pit a couple of laps ago to get a new wing and opted for the inters. And Massive Noogies has retired from the session.
If only fastest lap still meant something, eh?
Not for Friday nights, but we'll still count them in divs 2 and 3.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. I don't agree with
Oh,
them removing the one the point for the fastest lap. I think that's kind of dumb, but
there's just no point for it to remove it, you know? Like, it was like, it's so, I'd say it's so quote unquote insignificant, which even that's not necessarily true, that it's like, there's no point in getting rid of it, you know?
yeah,
Like, it's a non issue.
I think so.
But I genuinely feel terrible seeing that. That hurt me, actually, seeing him get that 3 second. Because, again, every race scores a penalty, drops him down.
Yep.
This genuinely is getting painful to watch. Such a great performance, too.
Yeah, this has been a fantastic show by the both of these. So it's a shame that it kind of gets decided off track in a sense. But we got to hand it to Kiwi. He's actually cut that gap down to 14 seconds as he moves up to third place. I mean, that is quite the drive he's had today. Unfortunately, his teammate Corey has dropped down to sixth. He's got really worn inters, and I don't think he could hold on any longer, so he lost positions to Zeke and TTV one man. So, and then him and Spicy are now battling it out.
Well, Gifted is still a winner in my heart. Great performance today.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. Genuinely painful as the grid starts to group up a little more towards the rear.
Yeah, yeah, there's a big gap between the leaders and the mid pack, but they're all still together, and it's been that way throughout most of this race. That's how good it's been. The pack has been nice and bunched up, providing a lot of racing action. And as
We had that in BBR.
Gifted leads Sketchy through the start finish line as we begin the final lap. 3/10 behind Gifted, but Gifted's got 3 seconds in hand for track limits. And unless something disastrous happens here, as I'm saying that, a huge wiggle from Sketchy coming out of turn 2, but he keeps it
Yeah,
together. He only lost 2/10 on that.
yeah. Which is not enough, I'm sure, as we both know. So
Yeah,
very unfortunate, though. Great race overall, though, from up and down the field.
yeah,
Ooh.
absolutely.
A drifting overtake from Fall.
Foe into 9th place. Lobster picking up a 30-second or 3-second penalty, but I mean he's
30
back.
second Ocon?
A little Freudian slip there, I guess.
That's a Red Bull, not an Alpine. Wrong car, but. Ow. That was a great move from Foe, actually. Like sliding through the corner, drifting through. Pulled a Kimi Räikkönen, actually.
Nicely done. Sketchy is showing red on his fuel level. So is Gifted, though. We do use low fuel mode. So if you run out of fuel, you basically come crawl into a stop, almost. But
Engine failure.
These two are going to be able to lead it to the start-finish line. Gifted crosses it first, but Sketchy will take the win in his return to FNL as a reserve driver, scoring some excellent points for Team Sauber. Very happy about that as the de facto team principal. And Kiwi brings it in for P3.
I do imagine that this is going to be a very, very painful conversation to be had once it all comes to the end, because that has been, again, every race. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so beyond the podium, we've got one man finishes off in fourth place. Zeke in the Aston finishes in fifth. Spicy Noogie's driving the Mercedes, but I believe he's supposed to be in a different car because he's a full-time driver. Finishing sixth place. Corey Lanzillo in the Alpine did the entire race on a set of inters.
Wow.
He did not make a stop. And he wasn't the only one. There was at least two other drivers who went the full distance of the race on one set of tires. And Zeke picks up driver of the day.
Yeah, Gifted is absolutely. Oof. That was. Ooh. That hurt. Very unfortunate. I mean, I need to check the standings, but I'm fairly certain that this shouldn't be too painful for the standings. In fact, should be beneficial because of where Sauber is, but still points that they could have needed
Well,
Mercedes.
I could tell you right now here where we at with standings. Now, of course, this is pending. There might be some mistakes in the tool because there's a couple of drivers. The tool's not being very slow here. So Kiwi holds on to the lead. He was tied for first with Deffy, and and now he can retains that. Gifted moves up 2 places into second place. So he's now up to, or he's got 30 points now. And then one man's in third place with 27 points. And Sketchy is in fourth.
Hmm.
Moves up 20
Well,
positions. And then,
this is just 20 positions out.
yeah. And then
Bonkers.
as for the team standings, Team Alpine stays in the lead, but Mercedes moves up 2 positions, although there may be an error in that because Spicy Noogies was driving the Mercedes when he shouldn't have. So if there, I can't remember how many points Spicy picked up there.
Hmm.
Yeah, he picked up 8 points, so that 8 points will go away. That will actually put Mercedes in third place with Haas in second. So,
Wow.
what a race! Another excellent, another excellent Friday night of racing. Very, that was good. I really enjoyed that.
It was very entertaining to watch. I'm glad to be a part of that because, whew,
Yeah, it's time for a
close
drink.
action up and down the grid. Wow. Well, that concludes another weekend of great action. So from Silverstone now to here, we're getting it all.
We've got gifted.
Yeah,
So
the winner at heart,
yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow.
honestly.
I'm protesting one of them, don't you worry. Please, did you scroll the race director, right?
I did not, unfortunately. But maybe somebody else did.
Well, let me uninclude my audio real quick.
Ay, ay, ay.
I literally called that I was gonna do that because I was literally called I was gonna do some dumb shit to make me lose the race, and I fucking did.
Mm.
That was such a good race too.
That was
Like I
I
fantastic.
finally
was
like
rooting for you, man.
once we got settled in, man, and I started finding my lines like I did in the preseason race at Britain. Oh my God.
It was yours to win.
Hey, thanks for the points. We needed it. Well, we're no longer in last place, so next time you'll be in the V carb.
Bunker stuff today.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say. That was excellent to watch. There was a lot of good battles up and down the pack all together. We unfortunately did have a couple of guys drop off because of technical issues, so that's unfortunate. Could have had a couple more drivers like Duffy and Plube actually, battling up there in the field behind you two. But yeah, excellent. Thanks for putting on a fantastic show, gentlemen.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you guys should have heard the VC in qualifying. We all realized because I forgot to say that nobody said that we turned sim damage on. So we're all doing our qualifying laps, and me and Deffy both look at our tire wear, and it says 23 in the rear right, and we're like, what the fuck?
I was
And
like, I didn't even know you guys
we
put
deduced it was
simulation
sim
on.
damage, and then on my second double, I didn't hit any walls, but yeah, I think lap 2 at a turn 4, turn 3, that like right hand, the 90-degree right hander right before the spear section, I grinded that wall at least 3 times that race.
Yeah.
And the lap
Mm.
both me and Sketchy pitted, I hit it, and it set my rear left to 81%.
Yikes.
But I think it's glitched because I did it like lap 2, and it set my rear left to 46, and it didn't change until I hit the wall again. So.
Mm.
Yeah, I do believe that with simulation damage on, when you brush the wall and it causes damage, like it increases your tire wear, there is a glitch that the actual wear you accumulate after that doesn't add to it. It's just kind of like it's like a freebie essentially. But at the same time, it's not really a freebie because you've gone from like 2% to 20%, and you really should be in single digits still. So, but yeah, uh, again, I enjoyed that a lot. So
I got really nothing to say other than Salberg drove like a butt. The second sector is where Gifted bested me. I couldn't hang on in the second sector. The car just had felt way too much understeer. It was
Mm.
understeer city in sector 2. Sectors 1 and 3, I was able to hold on.
At one point, that left-hander going onto the strip in the braking zone, I was like a foot out of his diffuser. Like my nose was up his ass. Like it was a centimeter from ruining both our races.
yeah, you
Yet
guys,
somehow I was able to hold on the straight.
yeah, you guys are really close at times. It was pretty wild.
I mean, it
Which was
shows
a
how it shows our experience.
it
Absolutely.
was a great contrast from the start too, where it started off, Sketchy just drives away, and then like
I knew that wasn't
later
happening
on it
for
was that
long.
close. So
I knew that wasn't gonna happen for
confidence.
long. So I was
Because
like,
Sketchy had clean air the
Um,
whole time. I had to overtake 2 people and then find my line.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sketchy was just
yeah,
practicing the whole time.
yeah. I
That's
just never want to
really
drive that Salber ever again.
To be honest, I think with me and Sketchy's pace, we could have easily pulled off a no stop.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
There were 3 people who did no stops. Yeah, I think you guys could have done it for sure.
No, I would have punctured my rears. They were like 30 by the time I pitted.
That's why I said we should have done it. I would have won the race.
Awesome, gentlemen.
Sketchy, what was your ring? What was your rear wing at again?
2.
A 2? Oh, I was at I was
So
I was running
you had
9-0 wings in the
Yeah,
full
you had
wet.
0. That's
Okay,
why you had more straight line speed
appreciate
as
my
well.
skill to be quicker in the corners.
Well, That's
The
the secret
traction.
out, folks. Wow. Zero is
It's been
crazy.
straight line speed for years. Wait, straight line speed's better.
I know Vegas tends to be one of those sketchier tracks for a lot of people, and then again throw on the rain.
And
I
sim
didn't expect it
damage.
to be as smooth as it was, how everything was with how close everybody
When
was
that when
racing.
that VSC came out, I had to take like a drink of water for like 6 laps at that point. I was debating just doing it on the straight without pausing, but then that came out, and as soon as I paused to take a drink, it started coming back. And when I came back, I sped up in one of the corners and went like 4/10 down. I just
Ooh.
barely got back.
When I saw when I saw the VSC came out, and then he said, and I could finally check out. I'm like, son of a bitch, you could have just done it on the straight.
I don't trust myself. I pulled my phone out while trying to text someone saying I'm like ready. I'm here to pick him up today. I almost fucking
Rule number
crashed.
one of driving a Formula One car: no texting while driving.
What do you mean? We're in Vegas, okay?
A
Anything can happen
skill.
in Vegas.
Yeah, there you go.
Skill, man.
I could just picture him taking his phone out while in the cockpit and be like, "Hey, what's going on? Oh shit!"
Slight mistake. Oh wait, I'm driving. Oh wait.
All right. Well,
Driving, driving a
gentlemen,
Red Bulls it's weird not being in that car no more.
excellent race today. Thank you very much. And yeah, we're off to Mexico next week, so that shall be interesting.
Screw that track.
Agreed.
That track actually sucks.
I hate that track
Oh
too,
man,
buddy. I do too.
All
that
right,
track is
gentlemen,
it's a trip.
I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks again. Thanks for you guys who are watching tonight. And yeah, don't forget to tune in next week. We've got races all weekend, too. I don't know if we're going to be able to stream any of them. We thought we had a commentator, but we don't anymore. So we've got Division 2 tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. We've got F2 tomorrow at like noon Eastern. And then Division 3 on Sunday, as well as PC2 was running Sunday at 3 p.m. We're going to be running the LMPs. I think we're at Monza, so that's what's going on in FWL this weekend. Until next time.
So much.
Yeah. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll catch you guys next time.